If you've been feeling tired, unfocused, or emotionally heavy, even just overwhelmed, it's not a mindset problem, and it's not even a motivational issue. What it could be is that your nervous system is entering burnout mode, and most people don't even realize what's happening. Let me explain why this season impacts you so deeply, what your body is trying to tell you, and how you can get regulated again. You're not alone in this. This time of year creates a nervous system overload. Your brain and body are biologically shifting. Less sunlight will create a disruption in your circadian rhythm. Serotonin also drops, which means your mood is going to be unstable. Melatonin also rises earlier, which would lead to fatigue and mental fog. Your biology is slowing down while life is continuing on, and sometimes it even feels like it's speeding up. You're also carrying a year's worth of stress. We didn't process our emotions and physiological stress in the real time because we're going so fast, we're just getting things done. And then it stacks up, and by the end of the year, your alloastic load, which I talk about in my other videos, this is your stress load, peaks. It gets high because, again, your body's slowing down, everything's still going, and now you're trying to process all of that information. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means that your system is overloaded. And then we go into the fact that your identity is shifting. Whether you realize it or not, you're shedding old versions of yourself. The old self doesn't fit anymore. At this point, you've lost relationships, you've gained new ones, your new self just hasn't solidified yet. And that alone is going to create emotional friction and confusion. We're preparing for the new, and we want to be this new person and know what we want, but we're still trying to process all of that old out. And lastly, this means that there will be an emotional backlog. Things are now coming to the surface. Now that you've slowed down, even in the slightest, the unprocessed emotions are rising to the surface. Remember, our body physically is slowing down. Everything else is continuing to move. Even those emotions, they're starting to surface to the top now. This is why you suddenly feel heavier, maybe even sadder, or more irritable without knowing why. Your emotions finally have the space to speak, and now is the time to listen. Most people don't talk about this, but burnout isn't just fatigue. It is your nervous system switching from mobilization to shutting down. When it's shut down, it feels overloaded with everything happening at one time. So the fear center in your brain starts to take over. It automatically shifts into a different mode. And this is modes of defense or survival modes. You may have heard of these modes before. There's fight, flight, and freeze. Fight mode is going to be more irritable, frustration, agitation. You just snap at the smallest of things. Flight mode is when you're restless, you're overthinking these looping thoughts, you have anxiety, or you're avoiding things. And freeze mode would be low motivation, numbness, you're disconnected, you have more brain fog, and you just don't really care anymore. And then there's a fourth one that not a lot of people talk about, but there's one that is about self-abandoning. It is your fawn mode. And this is not a defense mode. Again, this is more self-abandoning to where you want to cope with the stress, but you want to people please because you feel the threat and your only thing to do is to just make sure everything goes smooth. I'm not going to do anything to trigger anybody else. I want to avoid conflict at the cost of myself, my own safety. And most people are bouncing between these states right now. The thing is, you're not undisciplined. You could just be dysregulated. It's a survival state that you learn. And it is needed and it was useful. But after prolonged periods, it does more harm than good. Here's the truth that might hurt some people. Your body wants safety more than it wants productivity. Your mind might want productivity, but your body wants safety. Your mind might be telling you that you need to figure things out. You need to catch up. I need more clarity. I don't know what to do. What's my next steps? I'm trying to figure it all out. I need more information. But your body is saying, I need rest. I need regulation. I need to slow down so that I can heal. Here's the thing. The nervous system will always win without your help. The body doesn't feel safe, and so the mind can't function, and the body's going to do what it needs to do to regulate itself. This is why forcing stuff right now only backfires. Here's how you can regulate once again. This is going to be with no shame. This is not about hustling harder. It's just real nervous system support. The first thing you want to do, and this is going to be hard for some people during this time of the year, but it's to get light first. When you wake up, you want to get light in your eyes, natural light first. This restores your energy and your mood more effectively than caffeine will. And this is better. This is naturaler. I use a sunrise clock. I just got it. I've been looking for one for a couple years now. and I'm trying this one out, but a sunrise clock, so when the alarm goes off, it's a nice alarm sound. It's not that alert that's triggering. And then the light on it kind of comes up like a sunrise and gives this nice orangish tint to the room. Obviously, not everyone has that. I think there may be some apps out there now that can do something like that on your phone, but you definitely want to get some natural light as soon as possible when you wake up. Number 2 is going to be to reduce your cognitive load. Stop trying to solve your whole life in one day. Choose one priority a day or even a week. Your brain needs simplicity to recover. Reduce your decision fatigue as much as possible. You can do this by keeping things so simple with your clothes, with your meals, and with your routine. When I was researching a lot of wealthy people, a lot of them wear the same clothes over and over when they're working on certain projects because they don't have to think about anything else. They buy the same pair of pants, multiple of them, the same shirt, so then they just put the same clothes on every day. They just rotate it out. They keep it really simple so you don't have to think about those things. Same with your meals. Keep it simple. The next thing you can do to regulate your system is to move the tension out of your body. You want to move your body. You can go walking. We can stretch. We can shake our body. We can do some breath work, but we want to move that tension through our body. We don't want to think it out. We want to move our body. Your body has to release the stress that your mind can't process. This is excess stress, excess cortisol in your body, excess energy and emotions moving through your body. The next one is going to be true rest. I know this is going to be hard for some people, but 8 hours a night for 90 days can change your life. Do you really want it? Do you really want it? I know we'll have excuses on all these. Not every night you're going to get 8 hours, but do your best. That means cutting the screens off. What are you willing to sacrifice? Cut your screens off. Cut the TV off. Go to bed early so you can get up early. Your nightly routine sets you up for a good morning routine. If you do a good nightly routine, you have nothing to worry about when you wake up because you have everything figured out. You don't need to think about it all while you're laying there in the bed at night because you've already dumped it all out before that. In the morning when you wake up, you're not trying to rush and figure everything out because you already have it set up. Once you get into a good sleep pattern, your body's regulated. It's in a better circadian rhythm. And so now you're going to be able to rise more refreshed and with more energy. This is also going to allow for your body to heal itself, like physically heal itself, because now your digestion is back into a good rhythm and routine. Everything's able to move. There's certain times of the day, certain organs do different things, different functions. And so you're able to allow your body to heal itself. The next step is to nourish yourself. Don't stimulate it. Warm foods, protein, hydration. And I'm talking about hydration with some electrolytes, but try to cut the sugar on it. Check the packets of those things. Less caffeine, no sugar, and limit your alcohol. This will even help you lose weight. Give your body safety signals, not fear signals. Any stimulants and things like that are going to be more fear signals and your body has to work overtime. We're trying to do rest right now. So let's reframe how we look at things. You're not falling behind, you're not lazy, and you're not losing yourself. You're just overwhelmed. Your body is physically overwhelmed because it's been carrying so much for so long. Whether you think you get enough rest and whether you think you're not stressed, your body can still feel different things. And if you've been holding on to these things for most of your life and you haven't dealt with those things and processed them, they're still in your body. Most people suppress and repress these feelings that they have and they avoid them and they run from them because they don't want to cry. They don't want to feel it. They think they're going to go into a loop of just crying and that forever and that'll be it. But the thing is, this season is forcing you to go inward so that you can reset, recalibrate, and enter the new year with a regulated system, not a burnt out one. And you can't enter into something new carrying the same baggage. You need to create the space for the new. So we need to release that old. And if you need help, definitely seek out practitioners in those areas to help you. But we want to focus on clearing that out, those old wounds, that old stuff that's holding us down, that's heavy, weighing heavy on our heart. When you feel this stuff in your body, whenever I say, how do you feel in your body? You're going to feel it somewhere in your body. And that relates usually to an emotion that's happening. And whether you think you know what's happening or not, something is happening there. Something has been stuck and you need to process it out. And a lot of times you do have to cry. Crying is a valve that releases the emotion. It is not something that has to be looked at as something that is bad. And you may cry for a while, but eventually those tears will dry up. Or you just get tired of that and you're going to seek out more answers. And in your seeking, you're going to find the answer. You're going to find what it is that you need to let go of, that you need to forgive, not for someone else, but for yourself. You're going to get fed up with how things are, and you're going to seek out the answers, and you will be able to find those answers. Focus and energy returns when your nervous system feels safe. Motivation returns when your system has energy again. And the real you returns when the overload is reduced. Before you push yourself harder, ask, is this a discipline issue? Or is my nervous system begging for regulation? Is my body trying to tell me something? Once you start supporting the system that carries your mind, your body, and your emotions, everything else becomes easier. If this video has helped you, go ahead and give it a like. Share it with someone that you know could use a reset during this time of the year, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos like this. And before you go to the next video or go on about your day, I want to remind you about a few free things that you can do right now to change your mood instantly. Those things are to smile, breathe, laugh, dance, move your body. You have a choice right now to change your energy. Listen, keep your head up. Block out the noise. You know it needs to be done. Take it one step at a time. You don't need to do everything. Take it one step at a time. Build a routine. Establish some new habits off of that one thing for the next 30 days. And by the start of the new year, you will be a new person. You will have found some answers for those things that you've been trying to figure out and that have been keeping you stuck. And then you incorporate more after that. After that becomes a habit, then you do the next thing. But keep your head up, stay focused. You got this. You're capable of it, and continue to shine on.